Today on Woodturning, we're going to take a dip. Actually, a honey dip. We're going to make a honey dipper.
Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Thompson Lathe Tools, made by a woodturner, for woodturners.
Well, it's been a long couple weeks. I'm back from the AAW Symposium. It was in North Carolina, and one thing I came back with was this really cool honey dipper kit. It's made by the guys who go by the name stainlessbottlestoppers.com. So obviously it's not a bottle stopper, but it is stainless. The cool thing about this is it's modular. So you can unscrew this out of the wood because it has a little knurled piece of brass in there that you're actually gluing into the wood. And then you can take this and put it in your dishwasher whenever you want. That's pretty cool. I like that. Also, we did a honey dipper video a couple years ago, maybe a little longer than that. It's been really popular, and I wanted to update it with something new. So my idea is to make a top that looked like Winnie the Pooh's Honeypot. I thought it was really cool. Even made a cork to go in there to stop it up out of a separate piece of wood. Then my wife reminded me that the Honeypot does not have a cork, it has a lid. So we're going to adjust that in the show today. Now, the neat thing about this project is if you're like me, you're a hoarder, right? I have boxes upon boxes of scrap wood just laying all over the shop. And so when I come up with a little project like this, it's like, oh, what am I going to pick? This is going to be pretty cool. Now, here's a piece of Cocobolo that I could use, but it's going to be a little too narrow, so I can't get the fatness that I want. I want to make this a little wider. So I think I'm going to go with this chunk right here. That one's going to be perfect. Okay, I'm just finding my center here, and you know, crap, there's a dot there already. I should have trusted that. So this is the little knurled knob that goes inside. And so obviously I've got a bit that's just a little bit wider than that. And since it's knurled, it's going to have lots of grabbiness in there. And that's good because this is Cocobolo. And Cocobolo is a really oily wood. And it is tough to glue things to. So we're going to use an epoxy in a minute to glue that in there. So that was good. I'll tell you again. Get out. Golly. Oh, it's early in the morning. We're doing this because my air conditioner died the other day. I got it running in the background right now, and I still don't think it's working. So it's 6:30 on a Sunday morning. Oh, my brain's not working. So I want to drill this just a little deeper than the knurled knob because I want to be able to trim the end of the wood off to get it clean at the end. There we go. Cool. So we're mixing in equal amounts of resin or hardener or whatever. This is 5-minute epoxy. So 5 minutes is easy to work with on a project this small. And I'm just going to take this little stick here and stir this up. So it's just this clear junk. Looks pretty good, right? So we want to put this on the knob and put it in there, but the tough part is doing it without screwing things up and getting glue everywhere. So I'm simply going to use the honey dipper as my applicator here. So we're going to take this, take a little bit of glue, and just kind of put it around it. I don't want a ton of glue because that's a very tight fitting hole, and you'll see in just a second the squeeze out can be a little bit of a problem because you don't want to get squeeze out into the threads on the top because then you have to get out of the threads on the top. So let me take this and just push it in here and so you want a little bit below surface, which is good. Now that's why I have a paper towel here, because I don't want to get any of the epoxy into the threads. And also, I want to make sure nothing is dipping down into there. So we're just going to gently kind of wipe this away. And that looks pretty clean. There we go. That's not bad. Oh, 5-minute epoxy. You know what that means. 5 minutes. Okay, watching glue dry is kind of boring, so I got a story for you. The other day, actually yesterday, I reached up in the cabinet to get something, and I pulled my hand back out, and I felt something tick, and I went, oh crap. I looked down, and I am bleeding like crazy. And it's like, what the heck happened? And then I look at the floor. Oh my God, I hit an artery. This is shot all the way across to the bandsaw, and I thought, I'm gonna die. And then I looked up and went, oh crap, speaking of die, I knocked over my trans tint red dye. Anyway, so I feel a lot better. But if you guys happen to see any red dye all over the bandsaw, if I use it in another show, just remember it's not from this, it's from that. Okay, now I'm putting on this mandrel that comes with the system, and I like it because the knurled knob just screws right into that, and then you got this little bit of relief here so you're not hitting that thingy. So we'll turn this and get this on here real quick. And since I am one to rush things, 5-minute epoxy doesn't always mean 5 minutes. It might mean like 10 minutes. You just never know. So I'm going to bring the tailstock up for just a little bit of support, just to keep things held together. So the next thing I want to do is I want to just rough this blank out. And I'll use my safety goggles and get my big old kicker of a rough and gouge here. So that's not spinning, so I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more. So now we're making contact. Cool. If anything slips, I'll just tighten that in a second. So we're just going to come in here, move my body across, come back across. And if you notice, I have a tiny tool rest on here. And that is one of the things that I love about Robust. They make all sorts of tool rests for your system and for your lathe. And so there are lots of situations where a big old tool rest does not do you any good because it'd be going all the way there, all the way to here, and I couldn't get close enough to the work. And once I rough this out, we're going to be getting a lot closer to it. So it is a really neat accessory to have. Okay, now I've adjusted the height of my tool rest a little bit. For those of you who are new to turning, I'm going to bring this down a little bit. So how high do I put the tool rest? Well, what you want is the proper entry point. So if I push the tool up right now and start turning, it starts to cut. So that's just about right, because if you go all the way down to here, I have the handle down by my hip. So this is a comfortable position. If you're up here turning like this and then that's too low, that's the wrong place for the tool anyway, but it's going to catch. So you always want to have, if you can push this in here and nothing's cutting, and then you just slightly lift it and then it starts to cut, you got the tool rest at the right height. So anyway, we're going to start making our Honeypot this time instead of wherever I put that thing. Well, it looked more like a moonshine jug. So you sneak up on a bead. So we're just going to take little cuts here. And Honeypots are decidedly fatter. I have to remember there's going to be a lid right on this end here. So I do not want to take off too much of that. So that's about lid area right there. So I'm going to leave a little bit of that over here now. It's going to be the base. So I'm going to swing this way. I got to remember the Honeypot is round like Winnie the Pooh. So I love turning Cocobolo, by the way. It is such a beautiful wood. And it has a great finish to it. When you polish it up, it is just gorgeous. Okay, so now we've got the round shape that we want. I'm going to switch up and go to a smaller, whoops, that's a bowl gouge. There, spindle gouge, there it is. Okay, organized today. I have a Thompson 3/8 inch spindle gouge. Beautiful little tool for doing delicate cutting. So we're going to come into right here and we're going to start making the lip for the Honeypot. So we're going to make a little tiny bead right here, and it's very delicate. You have to approach it with the tool at the right angle. So if I get a catch, I'll explain why. And if I don't get one, you'll just go, ooh, he's good. So I'll roll this over here now. And we're doing this all in real time because too often we speed things up and you lose a little bit of what's going on. So I wanted you to see how long it takes to actually do something like this. And we're only into this about 3-4 minutes right now, so that's not too bad. So there's the Honeypot right there. Here's the lid. Gonna come in here like so. I need some help here. Getting to that age where I need all the help I can get. But I love these little glasses because I can then put these right over my cheaters. Oh, that's much better. You notice when you're trying real hard, you have poor posture, but it really helps in this situation. So doing little delicate cuts, and I'm just trying to leave the wood with as fine a finish as possible so when I sand, I don't have to sand these areas because they'll disappear. And again, we're doing this real time. No pressure, kind of like a live concert. As long as I don't hit the wrong note, we're good. So when I'm turning a shape like this, I'm always refining and coming to a point that I like. It's kind of like pottery at this moment. So now the little Honeypot lid goes in right here. So the hardest part for me right here is I need to get like a little delineation in there. I could probably do that with a skew or make a weird sound and do it that way. Okay, so here comes the lid now. So we go like this. The lid's gonna have just a little straight edge to it. Right there. I like that. And then, modification. I just ran the end of the tool into there. See this come in again. You can actually do a pull cut like this, and that will, whoops, shaking a little bit. Sorry about it. Earthquakes in Oklahoma, you know. So we'll come back here, pull again. So now we're gonna come here. I'm gonna bring it in like so, because our little Honeypot's gonna have a handle on top. Okay. There we go. Now there's going to be a point here where I'm going to have to lose this tailstock for support, and this is it right now. So we're going to pull this out of the way, and then we're going to come in a little bit closer, raise this up just a bit, and then come in here and whittle this away carefully. This is where we'll find out if 5-minute epoxy really is 5-minute epoxy. So I'm kind of liking this look right now, but I want to make it a little more organic. So we're going to come in like so. Uh-oh, design modification 2. So what I did is I hit that point right there. So we're going to come back out and pull this away. We're going to come in here and I'm going to get a start. There we go, and we turn that all the way there. What I was trying to do is come in here and undercut this a bit. Again, this is all live, so it might be dragging a little bit, but I just wanted you to see what it takes to get something like this done. No fast motion, no effects. Now this is looking pretty good. There we go. So there. That's my little pot. So I'm going to sand this up to about 400 grit as soon as I fix that. Aren't you glad I'm doing this live? Yeah, live tape. So what I keep doing is I keep presenting the edge of the tool, which is not supposed to be cutting. Yeah, I think it's because it's so early in the morning. I'm just tired. So you never should turn when you're tired. There we go. That's my last cut. Now we'll do a little bit of sanding. I need some coffee. So, I got some of this, let's see if I can say this right, Yorkshire. I'm from Oklahoma, Yorkshire. I know over the pond they're going to kill me again, but I never get it right. This is grit, and it's abrasive and microfine. So, they're each different colors, and the lid's stuck. So, the white one is the fine, and this one is the coarse. So, I'm going to take this to the Cocobolo. And you don't need much. It's going to splatter a bit. So I'll come over here and I'll play it by hand. But you can see this thing sanded up nicely. Like I said, I went to 400 grit. And I wish I hadn't cut my fingernails the other day because I got to get into these little crevices, but we'll figure that out once we get going here. I'm just putting it on like this because I don't want to splatter the crap out of myself or the camera. So you turn this on, you get it spinning, and you bring the speed up. Speed helps. So this is an abrasive, and it's actually polishing the Cocobolo. And the Cocobolo is full of so much oil, and that's what makes it a glorious wood to work with. Ooh, I sounded artistic there, didn't I? Glorious. Pushed in there. Oh, see a little smoke? You're going so hot and so fast. Let's see if I can get this right into that corner there and get some of that out. Yeah, Brian, did you cut your fingernails? No. Yeah, okay, that looks good. So you can see now we're getting a nice satiny sheen on there, and it buffs out all your sanding marks. Now we go for this paste, which you don't need much of it either. It just looks like cold cream if you're old enough to remember that. Not that I ever used it. I remember seeing my mom and my sister in it. Scared the bejesus out of me as a little kid. Should have had therapy for that. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to try to keep it from splattering. Get it worked in as quick as I can. Now, here's where the magic really happens. I've used the Yorkshire grit microfine before, and I forgot to use the Yorkshire grit with it. My fault. I couldn't find it. It was stuck in a cabinet somewhere. And so you need to use these two together to really make the whole system work. I truly believe. Because no way you're going to polish or sand something up enough that what the microfine will do by itself. But that stuff is great on woods like this or acrylics and stuff like that. So now we got the speed built up. We're going to stop that. Oh, that is pretty. Look at that Cocobolo. That is just gorgeous. So now for the really complicated part, you put it in there and screw it in. So that's so cool. So that's how you make a honey dipper. And I really like this because you can remove that to wash it if you need to. I think Winnie the Pooh would have been proud. So until the next time on wood turning, you keep turning, and I'm going to go get some honey and wake the heck up.
Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Thompson Lathe Tools, made by a woodturner, for woodturners.